Hello again, my name is Keith Severson. Welcome to Embarc. Appreciate you tuning in. Today's blog is inspired by a question we got from a customer a couple days ago. And they are a new homeowner. They have a bunch of property around a city, on the outskirts of a city. And around them, they have a lot of private land. And they've noticed recently, especially when we're in September, October, the big bird seasons, that there's a lot of hunters out there. And this family who've just moved into their house, they have 2 young kids and a dog. They're not hunters themselves, so they ask the question, are my kids or my dog, is my dog safe with all these hunters around? They can hear the guns go off in the background when these hunters are shooting at birds, and they're generally just concerned about their safety. And what can they do to make sure their family is safe, and what can they do to be more aware of what's happening around them? So this is a very interesting question that, at Embarc, we're always trying to find and help families get out and enjoy those outdoor activities. But it's easy to forget about that a lot of folks around here, especially in the state of Minnesota, maybe don't hunt and don't participate in the hunting seasons here. So to help answer those questions, first off, you want to take a look around. And who are your neighbors? What is your neighbor? Is it a bunch of farmland? Is it actually households? Is it a wooded area? Is there state land there? Take a look around all the corners of your property. If you're in a place that's posted as state land, and when it's state land, there's typically signs, probably every quarter of a mile or so, that identify it as some type of a state-owned property. But if you see a wooded area and it's clearly not on your property, then it's more than likely private land, and someone owns that land. And either they are people who hunt it themselves, or they've allowed other parties, maybe even professional parties, to go out there and hunt it during different seasons. Now, if you go to your local county office, they will have information to find out who the owner of that property is. You should be able to get a phone number or contact information, or at least an address that you can reach out to this property owner and simply say hi. We're neighbors. How are you doing? Get to know them, and then ask them about it. Ask them, hey, do you have people out there hunting? We've noticed some hunters out there. Is it you and your family, or do you allow other groups out there? And then simply just let them know that, hey, we're new to the family or new to the area. We've got 2 young kids and we have a dog. We don't hunt ourselves, so we're just asking questions and just getting familiar with hunting in that area. And hopefully that homeowner hopefully will kick off a great relationship, and maybe one day you'll be able to hunt in their property if they let you. So it's good to get to know your neighbors. But then, especially if those neighbors, if they allow hunters to use the property, maybe if it's professional guides or just random people who have walked up and asked to use it, they might have become accustomed to no one living in this property that you've just moved into, and so they're taking less care of recognizing the risks around them and risks around this hunting land. So one thing, of course, let that neighbor know, saying, hey, will you let the hunters know that we've got a couple young kids here and dog, and just be aware of that when they're hunting. Secondly, it doesn't hurt to put up a sign that's facing that property, right on the edge of your property, that says, hey, we're a new family here, we've got some kids, just be observant and careful when you're hunting. That's a couple easy things to do. The other thing, as we get into, especially during deer season, if you are out walking the trails, if you're using state land, or if you're just out in the yard and you're just still concerned, you can always throw some blaze colors on your family. An easy one here is the blaze orange vest. We have this one. This one here is a medium, and we also carry in small. And these little things will fit a 4-year-old. So little kids can easily throw this on. It's kind of cool for them. They think it's kind of neat or whatever. And you can see somebody wearing blaze from a mile away. So it's very clearly visible. Just lets them know, especially during deer season. There's a lot of hunters out there in deer season. So I know when I'm out at my family's farm way up in northern Rosa, Minnesota, we'll throw something on. And maybe it's not a vest, but it could be an orange hat. Just simply something simple like an orange hat. Just really an easy way to help identify. Just be a little additionally safe. And these orange hats, they're nice and fleece. One size fits all. They're reversible, so when you don't need orange, they can be a cool camo hat for the kids, something like that. Additionally, Minnesota is one of the states that allow blaze pink. So we have blaze pink, if you're into that color. It's becoming quite popular. Blaze pink has been approved by the state, better part of 10 years, maybe a little bit longer. So you got blaze pink hat. You also got blaze pink vests. And if you're a hunter out there, these blaze pink vests are approved for deer hunting, so you can go pick one of these things up here at the store. Or if you're probably in the October time frame, you do have the brown and orange vests. These are more traditional when you're doing grouse hunting. When you're doing goose or duck, you're in full camo. Blaze is not a requirement during a lot of those goose and duck seasons. But when you get into grouse, when you're walking through the woods, orange is required. And of course, when deer season is, rifle deer season is, blaze is allowed. When you talk about bow hunting, bow hunters, most seasons do not require blaze. So if there's a bow hunter there, you'll traditionally see them in full camo. And one of the big reasons for this difference is in when blaze and camo are allowed has everything to do with high-powered rifles. So when using a high-powered rifle, the bullet has the opportunity to go a very long distance if it doesn't connect up with its intended target. And so for a hunter, seeing blaze allows them to more easily identify the things behind that intended target. So that should give the hunter a clear identification saying, okay, I see an animal, I want to shoot at it, but they see the blaze orange behind. That is too risky and they won't shoot, and they will let the animal pass and find for a better shot. In a bow hunting situation, arrows do not travel the same distance as a long-range rifle. It's a very short distance. Same with shotguns. Shotguns don't travel a very long distance, so there's not a big risk of having an accident with somebody further away from that animal or that intended target. So that's the reason why orange is mostly required during deer season, because almost everybody in Minnesota is using some type of a long-range rifle for those distance shots. On top of that, you should also be thinking about your animal. I have an Alaskan Malamute, and when we're out on the farm, she loves to run around, but because she's an Alaskan Malamute, because they have a lot of hair, you almost can't see the collar because the hair is just around the collar. And so your dog could potentially run the risk of being misidentified as a wolf or another wild dog, wild animal. And when you definitely get into farming country, you have farmers there who are very worried and concerned about their livestock, and they may have considered taking care of and scaring away that animal. So you don't want to have your dog end up in the sights of someone's gun for any reason. So there are through MyEmbarc, we have these cool orange Ranger vests that you can Velcro right onto the dog. If you have walking harness, do the blaze strips on them or the reflective strips on there, so it's clear that this is a pet and not some wild animal that someone wants to put in the sights of their rifle. Finally, one of the big things I like to encourage people to do is to get to know their DNR. So the Minnesota Department of Natural Resources is an organization that's designed to protect and manage all of the state land across Minnesota, and we have a lot. There is a good chance that you are within 10, 15 miles of some state property that can be used for wildlife hunting. So we have a lot of it. It's great. We have a great state that strongly encourages public use of all the state land. So that means that we have some amazing trails going through some forests. We have some amazing hunting land, amazing wetland for ducks, a little bit of everything, at least in the state of Minnesota. And that means that you do have a mix of people using that land, which is great. You'll have the hikers and the hunters. So in any regards, the DNR in the state of Minnesota here spends an enormous amount of time and effort educating, training, and helping people get to use the land in the way they want to use that state land. And in all the years and all the interactions that I've had with DNR officers across the state, they are very helpful, they're very professional, and they just want you to be safe out there and using the land to the fullest. So, get to know your DNR. Know where your nearest DNR station is. Their phone numbers are posted so you can call your local DNR officer. They can answer every question you want. They can answer what season it is right now. And going back to that one customer's question about people hunting around their land, you can call the DNR and you can ask them questions. Hopefully you engage your neighbor first and understand that private property, understand that situation. But if you are concerned about some hunting practices out there, your DNR should be your first point of contact. They are the first people on the scene to address any type of potential violations, potential risks, any of that type of that stuff. A lot of times what they're going to do is they're going to try to educate those hunters or educate you to understanding what the hunter is doing. So they're really there to help educate. If things get serious enough and there's a potential violation, they have ways of taking care of that. And if things need to be, they of course have all the other law enforcement capabilities that are available to them and to the state. So know who they are. It's a good thing to have because, especially if you're a hunter, know who they are and feel free to call them. Ask questions, check their website. They have a great website. It has all the regulations, has the book on there, has the regulations book, answers pretty much every question you need. So get to know your DNR. And while I speak about Minnesota, I'm quite confident that every single state in the U.S. Has a great wildlife management organization. And I'm sure they have equal levels of help, support, education available. So reach out to them, get to know them. They're a great group of people out helping you use your public lands. So with that said, first off, thank you to that customer who asked that question. It's really good to hear from people who are not getting into hunting but have a lot of questions about the hunting that's around them. As hunters, I'm a hunter, quite active hunter. It's easy to sometimes forget about that there are a lot of people in Minnesota who don't partake in that sport, and may not have the education, may not have the knowledge to understand what you as a hunter are doing. So thank you for that question, and hope everybody liked this blog. Let me know if you have any more questions around hunting. Of course, we are focused on hunting right now during this season because it is hunting season in Minnesota. Just about everything is currently open in the season, and October gets very busy with hunting season. Then we have the very large deer season. That's the first 2 or 3 weeks of November, and then things start trickling down from there, and different seasons kind of end towards the end of the year. So, thank you very much, and have a great day.